Well, here it is. It finally came. This is the Arctic Air portable air conditioner. I ordered it off of Sportys on July the 3rd, and it got here on July the 8th. Today's July the 8th. They shipped it by UPS, and it looks like the package held up okay, reasonably okay, but we'll see once we cut into it. But this is the 52 quart 24 volt unit from Arctic Air. Now we're going to put it into this King Air B200, which it's sitting next to right now, and see how it does. We had a smaller portable air conditioning unit from B-Kool, which just wasn't really cutting it. Not because it was from B-Kool, but because it was just too small. So we're going to give Arctic Air a try and see if it doesn't make the boss happy. It's like they make it in China, which doesn't make me too terribly happy, but hey, if it works well and the price is right, we'll take it. So we're going to get into unboxing this thing and see what it looks like on the inside. Doing the unboxing today is going to be the Spyderco Stretch, which was recommended to be by Nut and Fancy, and you can get a link to his awesome page in the description down below, or I might just put it in the screen here. Really fantastic knife. It's been treating me really well. But anyway, back to the case at hand. Go ahead and cut these strips off. See if I can do this one-handed. Looks like they packaged it pretty well. Okay, let's get inside here. Be careful not to cut too deep because this has a cloth fabric around the air conditioner itself. Okay. So we open up the flap and that's what we get. We got the 2-fan system. So it puts out a little more air, I believe, than the other ones. Set the knife down here. Go ahead and pull it out. Have this plastic sheet around it. Alright, so I pulled it out of the box. Here's what we got. Real nice looking unit. The condition looks pretty good. Doesn't look like there are any cuts in the fabric or anything. We ordered this one because we can actually seat belt it in using these nice straps right there. The other one was just an ice chest that we had that we couldn't buckle it in. But it came with this documentation. We got a Sporty's catalog. Awesome. Also came with some kind of RV12 sweepstakes. Looks like we're entered to win that thing. Little card from Sportys. And an Oshkosh invitation. And it looks like a shipping manifest. Cover up my name. Let's see, there you go. The list price was $630, but came out to $652.95 after $22.95 shipping and handling. So there's a shipping manifest from Sportys. And that's it. All the rest is just this air conditioner here. Let's go ahead and unzip it. Has a nice heavy duty zipper on it. Feels pretty stout. This looks like the intake here. Looks like it's made from pretty high quality parts. Real hard plastic here. Nice and clean. You want to shut that flap again. Lift it open. Here's what we get on the inside. we got our two vent hoses. Set those aside. There you go. Those ought to be nice. Looks like they're flexible tubing. Here's a little bilge pump that goes on the bottom. Looks like that bilge pump, model 26DM, if that means anything to you guys. That's going to go right on the bottom of the unit and suck water up, bring it up through the heat exchanger, and dump it right back down into the ice. It also comes with this little kit right here. Let's see what's in here. Yes, that was in my mouth for a second. Alright, so Arctic Air instructions. Comes with that. Don't use dry ice, okay. Don't put salt in the water, okay. Now this says made in the USA. I wonder which one it is. Is it made in the USA or is it made in China? Oh well, guess we'll figure it out. It comes with our cable extension here. This is what actually plugs into our cigarette lighter. And we got two switches, pump off and on, fan off and on, so we can turn the pump circulation off or on, or just have it blowing air at us. I think we'll leave them both on for the entire time. Didn't buy this ice chest air conditioner just to use the fan on it. But yeah, we're going to be using this as a supplement to our ship's air conditioner, which is notoriously weak in these King Air 200s. And this ought to be keeping us nice and cool on those hot days when we're first getting started. And we have here, I think this is the relief tube, which will drain it onto the pavement after each flight. Just snaps on there. Some kind of connection there. And this we just hold this out of the airplane. That way we don't have to take this ice chest in and out of the plane. That'll make our lives a little easier. So that's it. I'm going to plug it in, I'm going to put some ice in there and give it a test run and see how it does. And film that and let y'all know how it does. So before I do that, I'm going to put one of these on there. Check it out. Have you look at the final product. There she is, 52 quarts of glory. These hoses are supposed to be flexible. I'm going to have to turn off the camera here as this jet comes around. Oh yeah, that's a really nice flexible hose. You can point that anywhere. Well, here it is installed. I've got it sitting on the side-facing divan here in our King Air 200. And you can see pretty much no one will be able to sit in the seat with this thing sitting here. We went with the Arctic Air because it has these really nice reinforced handles that you can belt into. So it's not going to go anywhere if the worst happens. And we got the two vent so that one can vent, one can cool us up in the cockpit, and the other one can cool everybody else up back in the cabin. So as you can see, I'm pretty sweaty. It's kind of hot here in this cabin. It's probably 90 degrees with humidity. But I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing on. And one thing y'all might want to be aware of is that you see where we got that plug plugged in. It's got the green LED turned on. If you wiggle that enough, it's not very tight and you'll lose your connection. So you might want to find some way to increase the size. If anybody from Arctic Air is listening, make that thing bigger, make it thicker girth, so that way it fills up the entire hole of the plug there. But if I wiggle that just the right way, it loses connection and turns off. But anyway, let's go ahead and turn this thing on. You'll see it has a little bit of a spool up time. Turn them both on. There she goes. Go ahead and sit back where the boss usually sits, which is right about here in this forward-facing seat. That's what he'll see. It might look a little bit tacky with those vents pointing up like that. You know, he paid good money for this airplane, and we don't want anything in here looking tacky. So I might have gone, looking back, I might have gone with the, I forgot what they call it. They have a different vent option where it's a smaller, more flush mount vent that looks like a traditional air conditioning vent. But shoot, that's pretty effective. I can feel the cold air coming back. I can feel it coming back here. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off and revisit this in about 3 minutes and see what we got. Alright, so up here in the cockpit, you can see the sweat on my knees from just how sweaty it's been in here. It's been real hot. But you got the Arctic air blowing in the back. I got one of the vents pointing at the cockpit to cool us off up here. Now I wanted to show you what I was talking about with this plug. If I move this plug ever so slightly, look at that, loses its connection. I don't know if any other users of this system have had that same problem, but that could be a hassle. It did the same thing on the other outlets in the plane. So if anybody from Arctic Air is listening, please fix that. Well, it's been running in here for about 10 minutes, and that's about the extent of my bravery, because it's running off the airplane's battery right now, and I don't want it to run too long. Gonna have to eventually start these engines on that same battery, so I don't want to deplete that. We usually start with a ground power unit, so I didn't feel the need to buy one of the car jump starters. Besides, they couldn't really find one big enough for a 24 volt. So our philosophy use is just to belt it in and plug it into the ship's power, and really only start it up whenever, before flight, whenever we're on a ground power unit. And just have it running the entire flight until the passengers start complaining that it's too cold or something. But I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off, and let's just see what that sounds like when I shut it off. I'm gonna turn both off. Actually, before I do that, I'm just gonna turn the pump off. Now, turning the pump off turns off the bilge pump, which is circulating the cold water up to the heat exchanger and back down into the ice water. So really all it's doing right now is just acting as a fan. So it didn't change sound or anything, but it's still blowing out just fine. So I got both those fans blowing. Now I'm going to turn off the pump, or turn the fan off. There she is. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get some in-flight footage of it and some reviews and thoughts on it as we use it on our daily travels here. See if it doesn't make people happy back here. But the summer heat down here in the south has just been pretty unbearable. So we're hoping that this really solves our problems. But anyway, stay tuned.